Elizabeth, a girlfriend role in a project like this can sometimes be very cliche, but yours is not. What about that drew you to the project?
That was exactly what drew me to the project. I think that what I loved about Jed was this dichotomy between the persona she creates, which is almost the stereotype we expect in this genre. She really is almost modeled herself on a Bond girl in the sense that she's with this man who's a billionaire. They live this luxurious, glamorous life. She feels like she needs to be that stereotype in order to exist. And in actual fact, it's a completely at odds with the reality of who she is, of where she's come from, her backstory, the decisions she's made, you know. So I loved that. I loved that duality in her.
Something about when she meets Jonathan Pine, maybe not immediately, but soon after, she realizes something more is going on there. Talk about that aspect of that relationship.
Well, I think that similar to Corky, played by Tom Hollander, I think that they both are so attuned to. I mean, Jonathan Pine is an outsider, and having an outsider in that Roper microcosm is very rare. I mean, I feel like he's really one of the first people that have walked into their lives for a long, long time. So he's fascinating from the get-go and completely unusual. And I think that they're both very attuned to him, to his presence, and also the sense that there is something off about the person he's presenting. And I think that for different reasons, they're both fascinated and they both want to get to the bottom of it. But I think the thing about Jonathan and Jed is that they're both humans who are living a lie in a sense. They've both created personas and characters, and they're both trying to play these roles and fool the rest of the world that that's who they are. And I think that because she does that, she recognizes that in him very quickly.
It's a beautiful project. I mean, can you talk a little bit about just the scenery you got to work in and these lavish locations?
I mean, it was an incredible job. If only, you know, if it was only about the locations, it would have been an incredible job. We shot in 4 different countries. It was really, you know, like a traveling band of gypsies. I mean, we just shot all over the world. We were together for 4 months. So we started in the UK, in London, and then we were in Switzerland. And we were shooting in a hotel that was literally looking opposite the Matterhorn, which was incredible. And then we were in Marrakesh, and we were shooting in the cities, and we were shooting in the desert, which was so achingly beautiful and really haunting sort of landscape, and wonderfully reflects that part of the story when we get to that geography. And then we shot in Spain, obviously, in an incredible villa in Mallorca, and we were using the beaches and the you know, the architecture in the city. And so we were shooting in these locations that just begged to have a camera thrown up and, you know, to shoot everything. So, and we have an incredible DOP, and the cinematography, I think, in this is beautiful and very cinematic.
Your character has a lot of scenes with both Tom and Hugh. Probably the only one that gets to do almost an equal amount with both of them. Talk about just working with Tom first.
Well, Tom is I mean, a wonderful actor and so highly skilled and you know, I'm sure he won't mind me saying this, an absolute perfectionist, and just has this incredible motor under him as an actor. He just will attack a scene until there is nothing left. You know, I can be quite similar. So I think the two of us really set that off in each other. You know, we were never really happy, and we were always going in to try and find really the sort of heart of the scene, and that's also how Susanna works. So when the three of us were working together, you know, we would just happily work on a scene all day long. And yeah, I loved his energy. It's really contagious. And then working with Hugh is, you know, they're very different actors. They're both brilliant and masters at their craft, but they're very different. And you know, it's interesting because Jed is such a different person depending on who she's with. And so I feel like it was almost like playing a different role in a way. The Jed that she's with Jonathan, the Jed she's with Roper. And so I loved sort of discovering that out too in working with them both.
Hugh Laurie can do more with a look or a glance than just about anybody.
Yes, he's very menacing. I think what's interesting about his Roper is that you feel like when he's looking at you, I certainly did when I was playing scenes with him, you feel like he's seeing into your soul. And you can't really, it's almost hypnotic, I think. And then at the same time, this menace, this sort of cold, cruel menace that runs under this sort of guise of charisma. I mean, it's such a diabolical combination in a character.
Tough to pull both of those off.
And he does it so well.
The project will debut here in the U.S. here in a few days. It's already been in the U.K. and just massive ratings over there. What was your reaction to the response?
I mean, it's been absolutely incredible. I'm so proud of the show and how well it's done in the UK. And it's interesting because I was in Australia, and so I wasn't aware of it on a day-to-day basis. And when I would speak to journalists or my friends who were watching in the UK, everybody was just saying, everybody's obsessed with it, and it's old-fashioned water cooler talk, and the fact that it's episodic. People were sitting down on a Sunday night to watch it with their families, and that's the other beautiful thing about this show, is that it caters to every age group. It doesn't matter who you are; there's something in it for you, which is a rare gem, I think, in television or film, and and people were talking about them and discussing characters. And I think myself, as someone who watches television and I love really good TV, I think it's really good when you find yourself arguing with people about the characters as if they're people in your real life, and you question their motives and their actions in the past episode.
Well, it's great work. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.